Hello, and welcome to the Handy Capable Black Woman Throne Room podcast edition. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable, but most importantly, I am human. Well, I'm going to be continuing my series that's going to lead me off to probably some story times and some more dating nightmares, but especially the series on the definition of a parent and what makes a parent, the definition of a parent, what defines a parent, because I feel like it's changed in some good ways and some bad ways over the years. And then also the effect of parenthood when it comes to mental health for both the parent and the child, because self value and self esteem and where you end up because of who your parents are and just things like that. So, but okay, let's get back to the wonderful world or the wonderful war of dating. So, I know I was bringing up last time the oyster dating lady, and I brought up a few points, but again, four dozen, and you did not share. What did we learn in kindergarten? What did we learn in kindergarten? Share your crayon, share the glue. It's like if someone needs help with something, be a team player. But she ended up on a date just for the meal. And I don't do that, but I have heard and I know of some women who do this. And men hate that. And so then in return, some of them decide to be absolutely awful, vile, borderline human beings to women because of that treatment. And she wasn't even interested in him. And she admitted that at the beginning of the video. She literally was not interested in him. I'm not going to waste my time with a man I'm not interested in. And that leads me to some of these dating apps. Oh, you are going to see some good dating nightmares soon, because it's like literally I have over 80 now that I can do. I literally have over 80. But they're all going to prove why. It's like to some of these gentlemen who, uh, I got called a narcissist again. But yeah, and then like this guy called me a narcissist and then blocked me because he was too scared for a response. But he doesn't realize, because I have standards, because I have value, because I have worked as hard as I can to be the best woman I can be, I'm not going to waste my time with men that I know that are not going to value my efforts, and they're not going to encourage me. I've been through that. I lived through that. No, no more. They're not going to belittle me or tell me that I can't do something because I'm a woman, that I can't do something because I'm a woman of color, especially African American. They're not going to tell me I can't, I need to just stay home and settle and just stay on the government because I have a disability, because that's what the men tell me. I don't have time for that. And so, ladies out there who have goals, if you want to get your degree, trade, or certification, if you want to go like traveling the world, if that's one of your main goals, if it's to have kids or not have kids, know what your standards are and go out with the man that meet those standards. Because don't waste your time with like someone you know that will never be a match for you. Okay, you might have gotten a free meal, but was the company any, like, come on now. And same for the gentleman. I know for most men it's physical. It's like so many times when a guy tries to write me online, and I'll say this in more G-rated versions, but oh my god, yeah, you're gonna see the screenshots. Do you have a big tushy? How big is your tushy? Take a picture of your tushy. I want to see your tushy. It's like if you're gonna compare your tushy to a melon or fruit, which one would it be? Is like there's other variations, and I'm probably going to do an IQ episode on that. But, gentlemen, it's like, really? Really? No wonder some women are literally inserting concrete in their tushies to make them bigger. And it's like some men, they're all about the beauty and beauty. Like, and you know what? I do have, I have my shallow side. I'm not going to say I don't. But at the same time, I was like, there are some guys who I might have not gone on a date with just physically, but I got in a conversation and I enjoyed the conversation. I was just like, wow, this is a really amazing guy. I mean, we ended up not being a match, or, okay, here's some other tea. I'm at the point where I have to be careful when I tell a guy my degrees, when I tell him about my education degrees and certifications. I have to be careful when I tell a guy that I'm starting my own business and that I write children's books and about to publish a novel. I have to be careful when I tell him about some of my jobs and some of the great and amazing things I've been able to be a part of. A lot of men, a lot of men out here are lazy. They don't want to do half the things that I want to do or achieve, and they don't want a woman that does. Okay, and there are some lazy women out here too, but remember, I only date men, so I only know the male side. So, okay, remember that. But I have talked to guys, especially during COVID after I broke up with my no good ex, Mr. No Heart. Yeah, because, okay, slow up, wait a minute. Mr. No Heart is a prime example. Because when we first started dating and everything, I mean, I told him about my education and about my goals, and then it wasn't until around halfway in our relationship I started realizing he doesn't want me to have kids, and he keeps telling me, I'm gonna tell you guys about what he called his own children very soon, probably in an episode or two. But yeah, he kept trying to tell me, you're too old to have kids. It's a waste of time. You're lucky you don't have kids. You don't want kids. That you're going to regret it. It's going to be a mistake. Don't have kids. Look at some of these moms around you. Do they look happy? This is what he would tell me on like a weekly basis whenever I went by the house, because I worked 2 or 3 jobs doing my thing, trying to save and invest money and save up for a house and all this other stuff. So yeah, I was doing on because that's another thing. I was doing my thing, and he hated that I was doing my thing, and he tried to downplay me. He tried to discourage me, even with my children's books, my novels. He wanted no part of it. And with my novel, which yeah, it's like I was even playing around with some of the edits today, but it was funny because when I first did my really, really extremely rough draft, like right before COVID is when I finished it. I was like, oh, you want to read it? I was like, I'm so excited. I want your opinion. Oh, um, maybe if you actually publish it, maybe when you publish it, I'll read it. And there were there were several times where when I there was two different job positions that were amazing that I got to do. It was for a short time, but I got the positions and they were really impressed with me. So I got to do another project with one of the clients and everything. And oh, he hated it. Oh, he despised and part of me is just like, what's wrong with a woman who has goals? What's wrong with a woman who wants to do do amazing things? Why can't I be amazing? Why can't I try to be amazing in my own eyes? It's like, you only care about my chest size. Yeah, he was a, yeah. It's like, instead of just caring about my chest size, like, there's other dimensions to me. And it was just so discouraging and awful. But then after I broke up with him, God is good on that one. So, and I'm going to talk about that later, about the mental health and how I got myself out of that relationship and how I saw the light and realized, you know what, I might end up single. I might never get married, but I'd rather be single and happy and love myself than for a man to just put me down, discourage me. And because even with my children's books, he was like, oh, no one's going to buy them. No one's going to care. Oh, you're going to waste your time doing that? It's like, that's just dumb. Why do that? So your characters are going to be black? So only black people are going to be able to buy them? And I would even tell him, I was like, you know how racist that is? Like, you know how dumb that is? It's like, okay, so how come, like, everybody can read Harry Potter, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, like what? And he was like, what? And it's like, 'cause I remember, oh, he got so upset with me because I kept naming example after example after example. And it irritated him. And I enjoyed that day. Because there's been and I'll make a list because there was a night with recycling. That was one of the first times he tried to yell at me. Whew, oh, he made that mistake because it was about a documentary on, or well, no, I watched a documentary after, which was the funny part. But at his house, like he does his cleaning whenever his mom or family members are going to come over because he doesn't want to be embarrassed. I used to help clean around a little bit, but then I realized I'm not married to him. He's a grown man. He'll do what he needs to do. So, but when it came to recycling, whenever I cooked, I would rinse out the cans and the bottles and make sure everything was clean, and then put it in the recycling. And it's like I remember he would just laugh at me. So one night I'm like, why do you laugh when I am taking care of the recycling stuff? He was like, because you actually clean them. He was like, you don't need, like, after you just put the can in the recycling. I'm like, without rinsing out the food? Yeah, it's like you don't need to rinse it. It's like that's stupid. No, actually, you are supposed to. And I just remember I got to the point where he slammed his fist on the table and just yelled, "No, you don't! You don't have." He's like, and I kind of jumped a little bit, and even his oldest daughter ran into the room, like, "What's going on?" And I'm just like, yeah, you want to go watch an anime? Let's go watch an anime. So, yeah, yeah, we went and sat and watched several episodes of an anime. Um, But like I think it was 2 or 3 months later, I forgot. I want to say it wasn't a Dateline special, but it was on a channel like that or whatever. I think it was a special. No, actually, I think it was a special on ABC. It was a documentary about recycling and the problems and issues and ways where recycling needs to improve. And they said one of the top mistakes people do is they don't clean out the recyclables. Oh, you should have seen my face. Oh my gosh. I was like, what? Say that again. Say that again. Oh, and then like 10 minutes later, they said it again. I was like, yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you. So he loved for me. He loved to try to make me wrong as much as possible. He tried to diminish me and put me down as much as possible. And I later realized, especially or after I broke up with him, I realized that he was jealous because, and a lot of people think that I'm stuck up because I require, or I now require, because I didn't want to. And a lot of people don't know my past dating wise. Most of the guys that I've dated do not have a degree, do not have a certification, do not have a trade. Most of them either dropped out of college or didn't even go. But I had to add that on there because so many men that have high school diplomas and nothing else would put me down or tell me what kind of man would want a smart woman. Why would a man date a smart woman? Why would a man want somebody who wants to do something other than have their children cook their meals and clean their laundry? I'm not going to date that type of man. And that leads me on to the dating apps. Like because I just made the list that I talk to and show you guys. Like November it's almost been a year. November of 2022, I made that list because I got tired of men with high school diplomas yelling at me, telling me that it's like I need to understand and know my role, that I need to understand that I'm not supposed to try to do all of this stuff. That's what a man's supposed to do. While a lot of these men that say they're interested in me they might have a job. Some do have a job, but then they don't have any dreams or aspirations for themselves, or they're not doing any investing. It's like, guys, invest some of your money, save some. Because don't you want to retire? Even start a 401k, invest in stocks, angel invest, something. So it's like I do investing in several different ways, and that's on my profile for a reason. Oh, and I'm going to show you an example of a gentleman. Oh, yeah, yeah. But anyway, it just got to the point where every time a guy would ask, "Oh, what do you do?" Oh, it's like, you have a degree. Um, it's like, what do you have your do? You finish college, and some would even say you actually finished college. Because a lot of on some people's profiles they say they have a doctorate, and I'm like, oh, what do you have a doctorate in? Oh, I have a doctorate being on the streets. I have a doctorate on in life. I have a doctorate of hood, or a doctorate in. Oh yeah, I need to look through some of the screenshots. But yeah, a lot of people would pretend and make up. But I mean, it's like I only ran into those a few times, and I only talked to like two of those examples. Most of the time, I would take screenshots because then in the profile they would define what their doctorate was in. But when I would tell them about my business goals or what I'm trying to achieve and stuff, a lot of them lost interest in me. A lot of them didn't want to talk to me anymore. Some of them said, "Oh, so you're too good for me," or "I'm not good enough for you," or you're supposed to be just having my babies. That's supposed to be what your main goal is." Or if they had 5 or 6 kids already, you just need to come to my house and take care of my kids and stuff. And it's like, I work, I'll give you what I think you deserve or what I think you need on a weekly basis. Hmm. So, like, when I see women treat men like this, I can't stand it. But at the same time, men don't understand how some of these men treat women, how some of these men see women. It's like a lot of them, a lot, like, because even the, okay, well, I want to bring up something, but I don't want to insult. Yeah, okay. Let's just say I got to think about it because I have another great example, but yeah. Let's just say I go to a mega church. I go to a mega church. But part of me just feels like, how come, especially African American women, we are trying to start our own business, do our own thing. We're inspired and motivated to do like so much that we used to not be allowed to do. It's like, just think education wise in America. Our ancestors had to struggle to get that and earn that. And then, especially as women, being able to vote and even have our own bank account. It's like without having to have a man's permission. So it's just it's just amazing with how I see, especially politically, how gender and race and identity is just being just, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's just kind of, it's weird, it's odd, it's corrupt in some areas, but I know when I try to go on dates, when I try to talk to guys, I now have to make sure I don't tell them about what I do. Unless I see that they finish college, unless I see that they are goal oriented, because a lot of the times it's not until I meet the people who are goal oriented, who understand me and they understand my drive, and especially being a sapiosexual, that they see who I am and they understand and identify. And so when with the dating apps, there are some men who they get so mad when I do not reply to them. But when I have a profile and put my standards and everything, but then I look at his profile and I can already tell he does not meet majority of my like standards. And especially if I see him in a picture and he's wearing a certain red hat in that picture or a certain red shirt. Yeah, you know what that red, yeah, especially politically nowadays, you know what red hat I'm talking about. That, no, no. It's like you cannot make me, force me, or tell me. And that's another thing. Like, I remember I was streaming on one of the dating apps and everything. And there's another streamer who was like, we chit chat and talk here and there, but we are polar opposite when it comes to politics or whatever. But we're still friendly. We still talk and chat and everything. But I remember she got on and, oh my gosh, like some of the, I could tell she watches Fox News because I was like, ooh, just my opinion, but oh my gosh, yeah, this is why our yeah, I can just all of the falsehoods, all of that toxicity, all of the just who again, that's just my opinion, but I remember when she looked at my profile and she saw my dating standards and she was like, "Why why not a Republican?" It's like you'll get over it. You'll find out how amazing they are. You'll find out how amazing we are. You'll get no. You'll see. It's like you'll see why we think the way we are, with the way we do, and it's like you might even end up in a. Oh, I had to hush her down at that point because one, no, I know where I stand. Two, it's like because and it's really funny. Republicans keep saying, "Oh, you're a sheep. You're following," and it's just like if you don't know my democratic views, if you don't know where I stand, if and because this goes back to Mr. No Heart's family members. Do you even know why Mr. No Heart had to tell me to not to whenever his family members would try to bombard me and talk politics and history to me, that I need to just ignore them and change the subject? Because I kept correcting them, because I kept giving them the real reality check. And it's like I kept pointing out their falsehoods and their delusions because they were some of the things they were saying, especially the stuff from Fox News that was so false and untrue. Yes, it got on their nerves because every time I proved them wrong, and sometimes they would get on their tablets or their cell phones and they're like, oh, she's right. Oh, that's confirmed. Oh, that, and I'm just like, yeah, don't play with me. Don't play with me. So when it comes to dating apps and things, like sometimes Republican men would like they would say, "Oh, you're beautiful. Oh, you're this, blah blah blah," and then like a week later they say, I've been on, but I have not replied to them." Next thing I know, I'm trash. I'm garbage. I'm not worth anything, and I'm a sheep. I'm like a troll. I'm just like anything and everything they can think of in the book, which you will see the screenshots of it. It's funny how some of the Republican men they'll compliment me and try to get me with them, but as soon as they see I'm not interested. But part of me feels like, shouldn't you be happy that I'm saving you time? Shouldn't you be happy because one guy was like, okay, ladies, be mature, reply to every person that talks to you. Really? Because I'm going to dedicate, well, no, I'm not going to dedicate the episode to him, but I'm going to dedicate it to that notion. Why some women do not reply to every comment or every message that they get. And this might go, remember, I only date men. Oh, there's some beautiful women out there, but I only date men. So, and that reminds me, I'm going to be creating a new email account because I'm going to welcome you guys to email me your dating nightmares, the screenshots of the corrupt trolls, evil, vile bullies that don't know how to spend their time other than trying to devalue and mess up with people's mental health, send them to me so I can show the world. Because oh no, I'm not shy with that. And it's like I'm tired of it, because it's like these men have so low value in themselves that the only thing that will motivate them and keep their like self-esteem at a leveled value is to diminish and bully others. And that's one reason why I wanted to make sure I did this dating nightmares. So at the end of the day and everything, I just know that we should be allowed to comment whenever we want to comment. We should be able to reply. And if we see that we're not a good match for somebody, that we can just, you know, let them keep talking to other people. Save them time. And because I'm not going to write each guy and say, we're not a match. I'm sorry, but I don't think we're compatible. Because you know, it's like I used to do that because I was trying to be nice and polite. But you know what happens when that happens? You know what happens when that happens? Yeah, men would say, you know, good B. You think you're pretty, but you're not. Oh, you're probably some kind of trans, blah, 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 blah. And oh, you have no value. Oh, you're probably catfishing. You lying, no good, C word. And oh, I've had it all. So I've learned, just don't comment. Just don't reply. And it's like, I've been called the R word, B word, C word, P word. It's like every word. And you know what? I am single. And I might never marry. But if you looked at some of my previous episodes at the non-podcast versions, you will see now I have at least 5 children's books published soon. It's gonna be 12. Like, yeah, by the end of 2024, it's gonna be at least 12 children's books published. I'm gonna have my first novel published, and I have 3 other novels that I kind of started at least the beginnings of. So, and then I have the YouTube, I have the podcast, and the Etsy store, and soon I'm developing the website. But I can't tell dates this. I can't tell a lot of men this. They don't like it. They don't. Not a lot of guys. And I know some of these dating gurus, especially the male dating gurus. Oh, she has a degree. I don't care. Like, men don't care if they have a degree. A degree won't get you anywhere. Oh, it's okay if a man cheats. A woman can't cheat, but a man can cheat. Um, So, why, if a man could cheat, why? Just why? And this is another reason, because I know women are starting to get back into the homes, being a stay-at-home mom, but be careful with that, ladies. Trust me, be careful, because if you find out he's cheating on you, and you're only staying there because you don't know what to do, and you don't have a dime to your name, and you're scared about being independent, be careful. So it's like, if he's cheating on you or using you or he doesn't value you, be careful. So I'll talk about that different. But it is what it is. And when it comes to dating, you have to be careful. You have to watch your heart. Because a lot of these people out here, and see, I said people, I didn't say men. A lot of people out here don't care about your heart. They don't care about your emotions. They just don't. But I'll talk more about that later. You guys have a beautiful day. I am the handy capable black woman. I am a woman. I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human. Take care.